This presentation is an excerpt from First Long Island's 2021 Training Day for First LEGO League coaches. This was recorded on January 10, 2021. The topics and processes presented here are subject to change and refinement as the season progresses, so be sure to check official First sources for updates.
Welcome to the judging portion of today's training day. Hello, my name is Andy Margolin, and I'm a judge advisor for the First LEGO League. And along with my co-judge advisors, Trish Poggio and Verna Sladik-Maharg, we're going to briefly summarize the judging process for this season's First LEGO League Challenge called Replay. As judge advisors, we facilitate the judging process by training and assigning judges, keeping teams and judges on time, collecting and distributing the judging rubrics or score sheets, and making sure the deliberations for award allocations go smoothly. We then get to announce the award winners, as well as the advancers who can go on to compete at our first LEGO League Championship tournament in March. Now, a lot has changed this year, and not just that we're going virtual. First has revised the entire judging and awards process to simplify it further for both teams and judges. However, the overall judging process has remained the same. There still are 3 judged categories: core values, innovation project, and robot design, but First has made several changes. First, and most importantly, the 3 judging sessions have all been combined into a single 30-minute judging session. Second, the judging rubrics and judging software that we use to rank and allocate awards and advancers have been simplified, and the core awards have been condensed. Finally, First has also added a required Coach Mentor Award. More about that later. But now let's turn to the next slide, where Trish will take us through what happens at a competition and explain a flowchart that depicts the timing and process of the new 30-minute judging session. Trish?
Thanks, Andy. You are looking at the judging session flowchart for teams. Before the competition, you will receive this along with your schedule, a copy of the rubrics, and the awards list. As you can see in the judging flowchart, there is one long judging session now with 2 to 3 judges observing the team. Staying on schedule is part of the process, so we will be using the preparation day to make sure we can all connect promptly. There will be no judging at this event, but we do want to be sure everything works as planned. At the competition, team members may have a method to keep them on schedule. If a team appears to be running longer in one area, judges will give them a reminder, but it is up to the team to follow through. Spending too long on one topic will impact time spent on other areas, so rehearse your timing. We start with 2 minutes for a welcome or introduction. In prior years, some teams might have members shake hands with the judges and introduce themselves. Others might have a chant or other interesting way to make themselves known. The judges will also introduce themselves. It will all be new this year. We can't wait to see what you do. Now, Verna, will you tell us about the innovation project?
Thanks, Trish. Just as before, the team will have 5 minutes to present their project for replay, showing how and where they can help people be more active. Teams need to show how they identified the problem, researched, envisioned a solution, and presented to the stakeholders. Check the rubric to make sure you cover the key points. In prior seasons, teams have presented with skits, with songs, with storyboards, or actual prototypes. We've seen PowerPoints, videos, and binders full of research. Maybe I missed some ideas. Of course, no team does all of that. But consider what works best for your team to communicate with the judges. What's important is that team presents the solution to replay in a way that is engaging for the judges, demonstrates what they have learned, and shows how they enjoy the process as a team. At the end, judges will have 5 minutes to ask additional questions. Therefore, this is where it might be helpful for a student timekeeper to keep track of where you are in your allotted time. Sometimes the judges get carried away with their enthusiasm for the team's project and may want to ask several questions or provide feedback, so make sure your presentation leaves 5 minutes for the judges to do that. Now, turning to the next slide, Let's hear from Andy about the robot design judging.
Thanks, Werner. Next, your team will segue to the robot design portion of their judging session. Plan to communicate what is special about your robot's construction, programming, strategy, or problem solving. Use your robot and samples of programming documentation. Your team should be prepared to explain that programming code. But please note that an engineering notebook, which may have been used in prior seasons, is not required. Again, look at the rubric to see what your team needs to present. And please don't have your team try to run through all of their missions. If we were conducting the robot design judging in person in a physical room, there wouldn't be a field set up to do so. Instead, the team should concentrate on explaining how they designed and built their robot and how they strategized its missions. What challenges did they face? How did they overcome them? After the team is finished demonstrating their robot design process, the judges will ask clarifying questions and may make helpful observations. Remember, the students do the work. Coaches and mentors merely guide and facilitate, but it's the team that finds the answers on their own. Now, Trish will turn to the next slide and explain what core values judging is about. Back to you, Trish.
Well, Andy, core values are at the core of who we are as an organization. We practice gracious professionalism and cooperation. This is the time for a team to discuss what the core values mean to them. A core values poster is an excellent way to present their ideas. If this is not your first competition, it is notable to mention there is no longer a teamwork challenge. Your team is being judged on how they understand and live the core values, and the judges need to understand how they work as a team. And we still want to see how the team has fun doing it all. The way a team exhibits the core values will be judged throughout the presentation. At the end of the core values portion of judging, judges will provide verbal feedback on all they have observed throughout the judging session. We want everyone to have a positive experience at first. Werner, can you tell us about the rubrics?
Yes, thanks Trish. Here's a quick look at the rubrics. Well, they might be tiny on the screen, but they are available for you online. Examine the rubrics carefully to prepare your team for judging. It's a good idea to know what the judges are looking for. The judges will receive a calibration training so that they are all on the same page for filling these out. Performance for each element is evaluated with numerical ratings as beginning 1, developing 2, accomplished 3, or exceeds 4. The rubrics are now simplified. It's a check, no check rating. Either the team met each element or they didn't. A team has to do something really exceptional to get a 4 exceeds. At the end of each judging session, the judges send the rubrics to us judge advisors, and the ratings are tallied and entered into what is now known as the OJS software. The software uses these rating scores to give the team a ranking in innovation project, core values, and robot design. As in prior seasons, the completed rubrics will be emailed to the coach after the competition. We try to provide helpful feedback at the bottom. Now, turning to slide 7, Andy will explain more about the awards.
And the awards will look a little different this year. Thanks, Werner. Previously, within each of the 3 main judging categories of core values, innovation project, and robot design, there were 3 separate types or subcategories of awards for a total of 9 different core awards. Now, those subcategory awards are combined within their respective main category. In other words, using core values as an example, there will no longer be 3 separate types of core values awards, such as inspiration, teamwork, and gracious professionalism. Instead, there will simply be 1 award for core values as a whole. Now, judges will certainly take into account the 3 subcategories when assessing the teams, but there simply won't be a unique award for each subcategory. This means, however, that there may be more than 1 winner or finalist in each main category. So there may be a core values award winner, but there also may be additional named finalists for the core values award. They all, however, will be referred to as core values awards. A similar structure will be in place for the Innovation Project and Robot Design judging categories. As in years past, the number of awards given is determined by the size of the competition. And similar to prior seasons, each team may only win one award with the exception of robot performance. Also similar to prior seasons, the Champions Award goes to the best all-around team. That team will qualify to advance to the championship tournament as well. The number of awards and any optional awards will be disclosed before the competition. Finally, turning to the next slide, there's a new award this season, which Trish will explain. Trish?
That's right, Andy. The Coach Mentor Award is a required award this year. First wants to recognize those who make this competition possible for your team. That's you, the coaches and mentors. Teams will be able to nominate someone with this form prior to the event to allow time for judging. Our tournament directors will give you the directions and time to submit it. This does not disqualify a team from winning another award. Our coaches and mentors do a great job. They deserve to be recognized. There's one more item to tell you about. It's not part of the qualifiers, but you may want to start thinking about it now. It's the Global Innovation Nomination. It only happens at the championship, but we think it is helpful to hear about it early. Many teams have great solutions to the problems FIRST challenges them with. And some have gone on to manufacture or patent or further develop them. The team that ranks highest in project presentation at the championship tournament is nominated to apply to compete for the Global Innovation Award. So how do teams get to participate in the championship? The teams that qualify to advance to the championship tournament will be announced at the award ceremony. The Champions Award ranking in the official judging software determines the advancing teams. The number of teams advancing is dictated by the number of teams participating. The advancing percentage will be available before the competition. Remember, a team can excel in one area to win an award, but may not rank well enough to advance. A team can earn advancement by their overall ranking without winning an award. It happens sometimes. That about sums up our review of the judging process.
This presentation is an excerpt from First Long Island's 2021 Training Day for First LEGO League coaches. This was recorded on January 10, 2021. The topics and processes presented here are subject to change and refinement as the season progresses, so be sure to check official FIRST sources for updates.